Welcome, welcome. We are live in living color with another episode of Roll the Tape podcast with Manager Marty. Come on, let's have some good boxing talk right now. Let's talk some business of boxing. Come on in, come on in. I know this is one of those last minute lives that we're doing right now. Sunday evening. I will not hold you too long this evening. I just want to talk boxing. I want to talk about the business of boxing. I missed all of you. I need some feedback in the comments section. I need some feedback in the chat. Let me know that you're here. We're going to have a great time live tonight as a boxing community. I see the viewership is slowly but surely increasing. Come on in. Yes, this is a Sunday night special edition. We're going to talk some boxing tonight. We're going to talk some business of boxing tonight. And I'm going to request that two Errol Spence Jr. fans come live on the panel, unscripted, because there's a segment that I am going to designate for Errol Spence Jr. fans, as equally as I did for Terrence Bud Crawford fans. And you know that if you're just joining us live for the first time, you may not know, but all of you who are returning viewers on this podcast have been aware that we have over, I almost think we have 15, is it 15 or 16? Probably 15 or 16 episodes of the segment that I designated for all of Terrence Bud Crawford fans called Nip It in the Bud. And so I decided to give Errol Spence Jr. fans an opportunity to come up live on the panel, unscripted, the same way I did Terrence Bud Crawford fans, because we need answers. And I'm sure there are some questions that people in the chat may have for Errol Spence Jr. fans. I'm sure that Errol Spence Jr. fans may have some questions for me, may have some comments, may have some concerns that they want to address with me, and I am providing a platform for them to do so. In fact, there are a lot of Errol Spence Jr. fans that may have some concerns and questions and even comments that they want to direct to Terrence Crawford fans. And we're going to set up a platform for that as well. But tonight and moving forward, we're going to have The Truth Hurts. That's the name of the segment that we're going to have designated for Errol Spence Jr. fans. The Truth Hurts. Similar to how we do Nip It in the Bud for Terrence Bud Crawford fans. We're not going to do that just yet. We have so many different things to discuss. Before I discuss anything else, there's a super chat that I want to get off of my chest and address it and acknowledge it now publicly. Oh, yes. But before I do that, though, let me welcome each and every last one of you that's joining me live in living color. Thank you all so very much for being a part of this segment, this episode of the Roll the Tape podcast with Manager Marty. I appreciate your viewership. I appreciate each and every last one of you that engage in the chat. I want to say to each and every last one of you that have contributed to this channel through viewership and financially to support this channel, I want to say thank you very much. Before I also get to the super chat, I want to give credit to where credit is due to all of the viewers that watch me all across this world. that watch me on this YouTube boxing community platform called YouTube. It doesn't matter if you agree with me. It does not matter if you disagree with me. It doesn't even matter if you like me or not. What's more important is if you learn at least one thing about the sport or the business of boxing that you did not know prior to encountering this channel. And it only takes one person to satisfy me with that. If you're just joining me live for the first time, you may not be aware of this, but I'm going to let you know right now that Manager Marty is my name, and it's not a name that just been designated to me. I am an actual boxing manager. I have been licensed in multiple states here in the country of the United States of America. These days, I just advise fighters. I won't go into grave detail about that, but I want to reintroduce myself to many of you that know me already, but I want to also use the opportunity to introduce myself to people who do not know who I am that's joining us live for the first time. I welcome you. And as I always say, you never have to ring the doorbell when you come over here to my house. You don't have to take your shoes off when you walking on my rug, because we family and you're all welcome. And the door's unlocked for you too. Definitely got to ring the doorbell when the door's already unlocked. Most of you get my drift. And so I welcome each and every last one of you. It is because of you all that's viewing me live in living color right now. Those of you that are watching the replay of this live, it is because of your viewership that I'm able to continue to do what I do here on YouTube and provide education first, my main objective, and then entertainment. It's because of your contribution, those of you that have supported this channel, not just tonight, but even previously, that continue to move YouTube's algorithm for me to continue to do what I do to increase and enhance the audio and visual quality. And so once YouTube pushes the algorithm based on your viewership and your support, people all across the world will be able to experience the same thing you're experiencing every time you encounter this channel. And the education and the entertainment that I produce and provide on this channel reverberates all across the world. And so it's because of you. It's because of you that's watching me right now and watching the replay of this live. Doesn't matter if we agree or not. Doesn't matter if you like me or not. All that stuff is not important. What's more important is that you receive your flowers right now from me, because I appreciate your viewership. I appreciate your support, each and every last one of you. And so you ought to hear it from my mouth to your ears. And the reason why I'm saying that is because if you're a returning viewer of this channel, you know every time we reach a certain amount of views in the 100,000 column, you know I'm going to acknowledge it to say thank you. And so as of July 7th, looking on your screen, I have published and produced a minimum of 250 uploads. And that's including my shorts, which I don't do as much. That's including my live content, and that is also including the published content through my videos. 250 uploads. And I say that's because of you, because you all, in your unwavering support, continue to motivate and encourage me to designate time out of my busy schedule throughout the week as much as I can to provide content for each and every last one of you. And in turn, the results of that produce now, as of July the 9th, have produced this channel receiving and reaching nearly over 700,000 views. I know that might not be a lot, but that's a lot for me because I've been a content creator officially for about 4.5 months. But I've been on YouTube with this particular channel for about 7 or 8 months now. All right. And the reason why I say that I've become an official content creator is because myself and YouTube have become great business partners. Oh, yes. YouTube are my business friends. But my point is that I've been on YouTube with this channel for about 7.5 to 8 months. And we've generated over 700,000 views. And it's because of you. And I want to take this time out to say thank you. And I'm going to keep highlighting until we reach 1 million views on this channel. So thank each and every last one of you for your support, for your viewership, for your contributions that you've made. All of the people that joined my panel, whether you were content creators or not, all of those people that may not be here with us this evening that have engaged in the chat, you that are engaged in the chat who have been here as a returning viewer. All of this is because of you, and I'm putting all of you in the same basket, in the same pot, to give each and every one of you your flowers because you all help this channel grow. And so I want to take this time out to say thank you so much. So I welcome each and every last one of you. I'm glad you all are joining me live. We may have a short audience or a short crowd, but guess what? You know what I do. Anytime I go live, lights, camera, and action, I perform like 1,000 people is watching me. It don't matter if 50 people watching. It don't matter if 150 people watching. It don't matter if 12,000 people are watching, which I've had at one time. That's not important. What's important is if you receive education and entertainment value every time you encounter this channel. That's more important to me than anything else. And so I want to say thank you to each and every last one of you. Now, we typically do our town watch check-in. We typically do that. And we are going to do our town watch check-in. However, because of time constraints, we're not going to do our town watch check-in tonight. Yeah, this is a special edition tonight. But in our next live, we will do our town watch check-in. Okay? Let me say that again, because I want every one of you to understand that I am not saying that you are exempt from putting your city, state, island, and or country that you want to represent in the chat. I'm going to acknowledge it as much as I can. But we're not going to do our normal, customary format of our town watch check-in tonight. We will be doing it. We will be doing it in the next live broadcast. All right. Now I want to address something real quick, and then I'm gonna get to this super chat. Boxing True, don't know who you are, haven't really seen your name in the chat before, but you said that I need to thank Blue Blood for the viewership or something you mentioned, and then you're saying now 12,000 people that was watching me live is cap. That's not cap, sir. But the thing that I love about it so much, about what we do here on the Roller Tape Podcast, is that when we see something, we say something. And I'm glad that even if you are a detractor, I'm glad that you still have an opportunity to learn something from this channel. And I'm not just talking about you, Boxing True. That goes out to any of my detractors. I want to say thank you for your viewership as well. Now, let me get to G-Man. Mr. G-Man, Mr. Justin. Some people call you Gary. Thank you, Mr. G-Man, for your contribution to the channel. Thank you for donating this super chat this evening. Thank you for your support to the channel. G-Man says, do you accept the debate tomorrow at 6? Don't duck. Ladies and gentlemen, members of the jury, members of the Roll the Tape film crew, let me leave that up there because most of you or all of you, hold on, let me get that baby. Whoa. Put that back up there. There you go. And you know, when I talk about these things, I like to show face. And I'm not going to shy away from doing that. Now, Mr. G-Man, you put this out publicly. I didn't want to address this publicly right now, but since you put it up there, it puts me on the spot now to address it to the live audience and the viewers that's going to be watching the replay of this live. Now, G-Man, let me read your comment again so we can catch the people up to speed. G-Man says, do you accept the debate tomorrow at 6? Don't duck. Mr. G-Man, you've been on this channel before. Several times you've been on this panel. Mr. G-Man, you and all of the almost 5,200 subscribers I have, and those that have been a part of the 700,000 views out of 250 uploads on this channel, all of y'all know that Manager Marty never ducked nobody and never will. You all know that. Even if you don't like me, even if you don't agree with me, even if you cool with anybody else that had an issue with me on YouTube, you know, all of you know, I don't back down and I don't duck nobody. Now, with that being said, Mr. G-Man, let me bring the audience up to speed of what you're talking about. Mr. G-Man, just so you all will know, emailed me a few days ago. And Mr. G-Man confirmed with me out of the clear blue that he set up and organized a debate between me and Rick Glaser. Y'all already know what my response was. No problem. Mr. Rick Glaser can come on this platform. He wants to debate me, fine. We can debate. But then Mr. G-Man took it upon himself to reply to that email and basically told me, this is what he told me. Y'all gonna have a debate Friday evening at 11 o'clock p.m. Now, Mr. G-Man, I don't know if you ever caught the times that I go live. I'm sure you have. You've been on my panel several times and you've been watching, being a part of the viewership. You know I ain't never go live at no 11 o'clock p.m. on not one day in a week. And that's just to start a live. I'm not talking about being in a live at 6, 7 o'clock p.m. and then still being on until about 10, something like that. I've never been on a live. Starting a live at 11 o'clock p.m. Never done it. With that being said, Mr. G-Man, this platform is just not about me. This platform is about you all, the viewers. So I have to respect the time of the viewership. I'm not going to sit up here and try to pull out a time where I don't believe the viewership will be able to benefit from the content I'm going to produce at the appropriate time. Now, some people might hang up at 11 o'clock on Friday night. That's cool. I'm not saying people don't. I'm talking about the subscribers, the Roll the Tape film crew members, the viewers here, the supporters of this channel. We never rocked out starting out at 11 o'clock p.m. And I don't know how long a debate will take with Rick Glaser. My point is, Mr. G-Man, I specifically told you in the email, and I'm saying it live since you wanted to bring it up, saying I'm a duck tomorrow. You said we're going to have a debate on Friday evening at 11 o'clock. And I asked you a question, sir. Please don't answer it in the chat. How are you going to be able? You're not a content creator, G-Man. You said it with your own mouth. You're not a content creator. So you're not a content creator. How are you going to tell me on my own platform what time I'm supposed to be on and what time I'm supposed to debate somebody? Now, what you should have said, which is what I told you in an email, that both parties need to agree on the time and day. Myself and Rick Glaser. We both need to agree on the time and date so that we can be organized. See, I'm a businessman, sir, Mr. G-Man. So if I do something on the fly, it's because I'm already on a live. We're talking about organizing the debate. I'm a content creator. So it's all about building the excitement and galvanizing the people to come. It's all about advertisement. This is not the first time we had a situation with me being involved in the debate. I don't want to name drop, but I'm just saying situation with Blue Blood, not once, but twice. The situation with what's his name? Green. The situation with Mike Williams Sr. I don't have no problem dropping no link for anybody to come on here to speak their piece about me or with me or to me. But my point is, Mr. G-Man, as the viewer, every time I say this word G-Man, the viewership increases exponentially. Just like the crowd increased exponentially last night in Atlantic City with Boots. We're going to get to that a little later on. But the thing is, G-Man, you're telling me that we are going to have a debate tomorrow at 6 o'clock. Brother, I ain't been on YouTube on a Tuesday in a couple of weeks now. Where have you been? Because if it was all about me being available on Tuesday night at 6, you know I'll be having my lives on Tuesdays. But apparently, I'm unavailable on Tuesdays at that time, or else I'd be on my live. So what I'm saying is, G-Man, I have Rick Glazer's email based on the screenshot that you sent me. So I'm telling you, and I'm telling all the audience watching me live in living color, I'm going to reach out to Mr. Rick Glazer when this live is over. I'm going to reach out to him through an email. And I am going to then determine with, not without, I don't do no sneak disses, and everybody on here know that, with the cooperation of Mr. Rick Glazer to determine when he is available as well. And then when we both, him and I, determine when we are both available through our permitting schedules, then Rick Glazer is more than welcome to join this platform in an organized setting to be a part of a debate that you wanted to organize with him against me. Let me let you know this again, Mr. G-Man, because I told you in the email, but since you brought this up, now I got to publicize it. You asked me if it's possible for you to be a judge when me and Mr. Rick Glazer debate. You said that you wanted to judge the debate. You wanted to be one of the judges. You also said, Mr. G-Man, that you wanted us to follow the same format as Knockout Boxing 86 TV. And I told you in an email, and now I'm going to say it publicly since you brought this up talking about I'm a duck tomorrow night. I told you that I operate out of integrity, which you already know. And I also told you, with that being said, that I have a lot of respect for Knockout Boxing 86 TV, and he has great content, and I love how great he does his format with his live debate series. I told you that in the email, and I also told you that because the format that Knockout Boxing 86 TV has produced, that format is unique to him and his brand and his channel. And it will be disrespectful and dishonorable if I hijacked his unique platform, his unique debate format to appease you because you are friends with Rick Glazer. So I told you I declined that format because that format is respectable to Knockout. We don't do stealing nobody's thing over here. Everything I do has been unique thus far. My point is this, G-Man. You can be a judge. I don't mind if you be a judge. You can choose the judges. Rick Glaser can choose the judges. That's fine with me. I'll choose some judges. That's fine with me. But the final judges are going to be the Roll to Tape film crew that's in the chat. I will say that because that's only fair. The audience should judge. Let the audience decide. But you brought Rick Glaser's name up on this platform, sir. You did. I didn't ask you about him. You brought him up. And so I'm going to email Rick. And when you talk to him before I do, you tell him exactly what I said. And if he don't believe you, he can click and watch the replay of this live. Because everything I can say behind somebody's back, I can say it to their face. So with that being said, you want Rick Glaser to debate me. I'm cool with it. But we are going to organize it as businessmen. Rick Glaser's a businessman, right? Okay, so am I. So we're going to organize it. I'm going to advertise it properly to give the fan base an opportunity to be available. Because this debate, man, this is going to be an awesome, big debate. And I want to say this too, and we're going to move on from this. Because this channel is not about debates. You all know that. But you know, it's going to be some teachable moments in there. You know that, right, G-Man? You know that, right, G-Man? Lot of teachable moments. And the fans, I'm a might as well promote it now. Y'all better tune in live. I'm going to have a date for y'all the next time I come on here. I'm going to have a date for each and every last one of my viewers right now as the viewership is increasing exponentially. A live debate between G-Man's homeboy, G-Man's friend, Mr. Rick Glaser. You've heard me mention his name on this channel before. And so now we'll be able to come together now, myself and Mr. Rick Glaser. And I'm sure Mr. Rick Glaser has done his homework on me. I'm almost certain. And if he hasn't done so already, by the time the debate comes, I'm sure he is. But that's not going to help Mr. Rick, and it's not going to help you either, G-Man. But yeah, we can have a live debate. Now, here's the thing. I don't want nobody else getting cute thinking that everybody just going to start calling me out the debate because everybody want clout. Yeah, I see what you're trying to do, G-Man. I got something for you. But the bottom line is this. I'm not interested in debating. But since you brought the man name up, tell him to bring it. You know I don't duck nobody, G-Man. I don't even know why I appreciate the super chat, brother. Oh, I appreciate the support. But you even use the word duck and manager Marty in the same sentence. You know that's almost blasphemous, brother. Call him over. And guess what? I'm so thorough with it because the viewership is hey, man, I ain't going to tell you how the viewership. I'm so thorough with it. You call him now. I send a link out to you now. If you want to come over here now. I don't need no preparation and do no rehearsals and all that. I used to do that when I acted on stage. I don't need to do no scripts and rehearsals. Everybody know I don't do no scripts. Everything is live and living color, unscripted. I send you a link. You call it. You call his phone and tell him to come over here now if you want. We got a little time tonight. But I would rather do it in an organized fashion because I don't want nobody to miss out on this live event between the debate between me and Rick Glaser because, hey, G-Man started this. G-Man brought his name up. Yeah, the G-Man did this. You see, just like the last guy. See, I be chilling, y'all. It don't be me. Don't be me. These guys call me out. You know. Then I send a link. Ain't want to come. It is what it is. Everybody know me personally, and people that know me personally and people that know me through YouTube. I know I ain't backing down from a debate. Man, y'all tripping, man. What's wrong with you, G-Man? Man, in fact, I'll send you the link now, G-Man, for real, for real. I'm tired, because now I'm tired of talking about it now. But I want to do it in an organized fashion. I don't want nobody to miss it. I mean, salute to everybody in the chat, man. Salute to the Roll to Tape film crew. I see you. Now you make me want to debate now. Like I'm not even really. You know what I mean? I wanted to talk about boxing, but man, we here now. You can debate me now if you want. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. We here now. Thank you for your contribution, G Man. But you could tell me in the chat, G Man, if you want me to send you that link. You go call him and tell him to come over here if you want. But you're not going to dictate the terms of my schedule or Rick Glacier's schedule. Now, I don't know if Rick Glacier told you to tell me tomorrow at 6. I don't know. But I got Rick Glacier's email because you screenshot it to me. You ain't screenshot it to me for me to reach out to him. You just screenshot it to me to let me know that he said he's cool with debating me. So I got his, I see his email on there. So I don't need no middleman. I can move you out the way and I talk directly to him. I'm gonna email him directly. Get you did your part. You wanted to set it up and organize it. You the matchmaker. It's another matchmaker on here. Anyway, we're gonna move the matchmaker out. Oh, isn't Rick Glacier a matchmaker? Right. So now two matchmakers. Okay, cool. G-Man and Rick Glacier, two matchmakers. I get it. So I'm gonna move the first matchmaker out the way. G-Man, your services are no longer needed. Appreciate how you organized it though, but I'm gonna directly go to Mr. Rick myself. He come on the channel. It is what it is. We're here now. I appreciate your contribution. David Barnett, thank you for your contribution and your support to the channel. David Barnett says, appreciate you, Manager Marty. Thank you, Mr. David. I appreciate you as well. And let me say this, speaking of appreciation, I've gotten so much support and love just last night at the Jerron Boots Ennis fight in Atlantic City. I mean, people from all across the East Coast, fans of boxing. You know, as I walked past and I was making my rounds and speaking to people, and people were, pulling me to the side and talking to me and, calling my name. And I didn't know who they were, but they were supporters of this channel. If they're watching live, I want to say salute to each and every last one of y'all that came up to me, that gave me some encouraging words, that wanted to take pictures with me, that, had small dialogue with me last night, spotted me out in the crowd, spotted me out ringside, spotted me out at the fight, and showed me a lot of love and support. Thank y'all if y'all watching. Some of y'all guys, I remember your names. I appreciate your support and your contribution that you make through the channel, even through viewership. And speaking of contribution to the channel, I got to sit up here and stop my whole show for family, man. That guy on your screen, family, man. He's day one supporter, day one rider. My guy, my main man, Pots and Pan. Mr. Pragmatic, we miss you, Mr. Prag. Always a pleasure to see you on the channel. Me and Mr. Prag spent a lot of time together, man. We had a great time some months ago. Mr. Pragmatic says this. I'm looking forward to Marty and Rick debating boxing. My money is on Manager Marty. Absolutely. Absolutely, Mr. Pratt. And every time you put your money on Manager Marty, blessings come your way. You ain't gonna be disappointed. You ain't gonna be disappointed, Mr. Pratt. And neither is the viewership watching live in living color. Who is this? Hey, Boxing Blue. What's up, man? You all right, Boxing Blue? You've been throwing shots at me since you got on here, Boxing Blue. What's up, man? What's going on, Boxing Blue? I don't know who you are, Boxing Blue, but I want to tell you I thank you for engaging in the chat. I thank you for your viewership. I mean, you're going to be in the chat throwing shots at me. Why not contribute to the channel, brother? Send me $1.99 or something, man, so we can finish paying for these groceries that I'm going to produce this evening. Send the $1.99. Send a super chat. You know what I mean? You doing it. Send me a cash app. Let me put my cash app join up here, y'all. I said join, so you know the Philly coming out of me. Put the cash app. Come on, Boxing True. You got, you're very active in the chat, brother. I appreciate it. I know what you want. I know exactly what y'all want. I'm going to give y'all what y'all want, man. Yeah, I know. I know what he want, Mr. Finesse. I'm gonna give him what he want though. I know. All right, moderators, do your job. If he a troll, y'all know what y'all supposed to do. I don't know if he a troll or not. I'm just glad he's here. Yes, let's get this unboxing now. We gotta talk about Boots right now, y'all. Classic masterpiece last night. So tell me your evaluation of that fight last night in the chat. What's up, Lucky? I see you in the chat, brother. What do y'all think about Boots' performance? What do you think about the chin, the heart, the determination of Villia? What do y'all think about the fight overall? Let's engage in the chat and move on with the show. Um, what y'all got on it? What do y'all think about the fight? Let's engage in the chat. Jerron Boots Ennis against Romain Villia. Classic masterpiece from Boots. What do y'all think? I see a lot of people in the chat engaging, saying Villia was tough. I see my man, Mr. Pragmatic, says Boots could have ended the fight in the 8th round. I see Battlefield Boxing said Ring General. Mr. Finesse said he was styling. And he looked great last night. I mean, what's your overall evaluation of this fight? Let's talk about it. Let's get into it real quick before we move right along. What y'all think? Let's talk about it. Yep, I see Schizo Paul said that Boots, broke him down, didn't rush the knockout. Somebody else said that Boots, it was a good win for Boots. It wasn't easy. The guy made him work. Come on, let's talk about it. People, I was going to ask y'all who y'all want to see him fight next, but before we get to that, as the viewership is increasing exponentially, let's talk about that. Let's talk about Boots' performance last night. And before we get to Boots' performance last night, I see all of you engaging in the chat as the viewership is increasing exponentially. And speaking of the viewership, I have my family in the chat. Rachel and Nonito Donaire is live with us. Salute, Rachel and Nonito. Always a pleasure to have you on. I see my other family here, man. He already know when I see his name in the chat. He already know I'm gonna shout him out from the top of the lungs. My main man, Pots and Pans, Mr. Chris Lee. What's up, Chris? My man, Chris in the building. Masterpiece, y'all. Masterpiece. Masterpiece. Masterpiece performance by Boots, y'all. Masterpiece performance. YSM Sports Media, of course, he caught me in the crowd, ringside at the fight last night, and he interviewed me. He asked me this question: what did I rate Boots' performance. I'll say it live right now. I said it in the published content I produced earlier, and I said it on YSM Sports Media's channel. I don't know if he published the interview yet, so I'm not going to mess up the content over on his channel. But basically, I said that Boots deserved an 8.5, an 8.5, based on his performance last night. Everybody already know, and I've said this before, and I'll say it again, Boots is special. He is a special talent, and it's hard to beat a special fighter when they have boxing in their blood. And Boots have boxing in his blood. You know, he's special. You know, and I said that I gave him an 8.5 last night because Boots could have actually basically got the guy out of there earlier than round 10. Just my observation, just my evaluation, and just what I know about boxing. If he would have went to the body more, I think after round 2, he stopped attacking the body as consistently as he was in the first 2 rounds. Because those body attacks that he would have levied on Villia would have slowed him down. And then he can go up to the top of the head and then come back down, up, down, up. You know, those of you that know boxing know what I mean by up, down, up. But my point is, had he broke down his body a little bit sooner and been more consistent with the body attack, Villia would have been done way earlier than round 10. Boots did get the job done. I was thinking to myself while I was watching this fight in Atlantic City last night, and I was sitting about, I want to say about 4 rows behind Gillian Wallow, who was there last night. And I was saying to myself, I know Romain Villia was tough because he showed us that, you know, he's good with, you know, being a pressure fighter, trying to break his opponent's will until he catch you, like he did Rashidi Ellis. But this guy has steel or metal in his chin because he took some punches last night. I mean, he took some big shots last night. Villia did. He took some big shots, shots that we've seen Boots land on other people that got them out of there more quicker, but he just kept coming. And it wasn't like he was just coming just so he can get knocked out. He was coming and he still was making an effort. You know, he still was fighting. I believe that Villia came to fight last night. He didn't come to just lay down for Boots. He didn't come to just get no check. That's what I think based on his you know, his body language, based on his effort. He really came to fight Boots. He came up extremely short, which we kind of knew, but we didn't know it was going to be in that dramatic fashion because nobody else really knocked Villia out before. You know, you look at his last fight, you know, when he fought Rashidi Ellis in January, Rashidi Ellis was just boxing his head off the whole night, dancing circles around him, showing good ring generalship until he got caught and knocked down in the 12th. Boots showed different levels last night. He was boxing, then he was exchanging, you know, blow for blow. Then he started boxing again. You know, Boots was showing different parts of how you break a fighter down that's effective in their aggression. And he did just that. And I mean, it was a masterpiece. I will say another reason, which I didn't say in the interview, and I'll say it live right here. Another reason why I gave Boots an 8.5, 8.5, is because I wanted to see him exert more defense. He kind of was letting out. Let me not say that. He didn't let Villia hit him. Don't quote me on that. Don't quote me on that. Let me retract that. He allowed Villia to hit him unnecessarily. You know, Villia was hitting Boots with some clean shots too now. So, you know, Boots showed that he got a chin too. This is boxing. You're going to get hit. That's just how boxing is. I taught my son that. My youngest son, I taught him, Lil Marty. I would always tell him when he was from the age of 3 years old, teaching him, don't be scared to get hit. It's boxing. You're going to get hit. So I'm not saying it's an 8.5 because he got hit. It's because he didn't have to get hit. There were certain things that Boots could have done so that he wouldn't get hit. But I believe he chose to do that to show Villia, I can exchange blow for blow with you. I have no problem with that. And that's one of the ways that he took the heart of Villia. He broke Villiers' will, because Villiers basically gave Boots all he can handle. Villiers gave Boots all he can handle, and Boots took his best punches. I gotta stop my show again, man. I see somebody else that's family in the chat. My man Rod. What's up, Rod? Salute, family. Rodney. That man know me over 30. How many years, Rod? 30 something years? My God. Yeah, my man know me 30 something years, man. Good friend of mine. But my thing is, Boots basically took all of Villiers' best punches. Let me get the super chat real quick, y'all. Steph Brown, thank you for your contribution and your support to the channel. Steph says, much love from Irvine, California. Be well, Marty. God be with you. Thank you, Mr. Steph, all the way from California, supporting the channel. I really, really appreciate it, man, from the bottom of my heart. And I definitely do strive to continue to be well. Many blessings to you and your family, Steph. Thank you again, man. And so, yeah, so my question now becomes this. We heard Boots say in the ring who he wanted to fight next. He first two names right off the bat, Crawford and Spence. First two names right off the bat. Then he talked about, building up to fight those guys if possible, if he had to, fighting Thurman or Ugas. You know what I mean? What do y'all think about Boots fighting the winner of Crawford versus Thurman? Since Crawford and Spence, what did I say? I say Thurman. I'm tired, y'all. I meant to say Spence. Y'all know what I meant. Spence and Crawford. Since they're fighting at the end of this month, this is what's being reported now. I'm going to stand on my square with that. What's being reported that they're fighting at the end of this month, Crawford versus Spence. But Boots fought last night. So they're all three fighting around the same time. Boots wants the winner. He wants the winner, y'all. My question to the chat, the live viewers, the Roll to Take Film crew members, and you watching the replay of this live, and you can also comment in the comment section below. Do y'all think that Boots should fight the winner of Crawford versus Spence? Yes or no in the chat. Let's engage on that for a minute. As the air fryer through the roof since G-Man got me on here now. Talking about me ducking the debate with Rick Glaser. Air fryer shot right up to a beam. Boom. So, I see somebody saying no. Should Boots fight the winner of Crawford versus Spence? A couple people saying no. Some people are talking about the rematch clause that might hinder Boots being next between the winner of Crawford versus Spence. Okay. So the question on the floor again, should Boots fight the winner of Crawford versus Spence? I haven't seen nobody say yes yet. Everybody's saying, oh, Mr. Prag said yes. Most people are saying no in the chat. Let me stop my show again because I didn't see any women in the chat, but I know somebody that is a woman that's even watching me live now or going to watch the replay of this live need to hear me say welcome. I always go out of my way to stop what I'm doing to make sure I acknowledge each and every last one of the women that support this channel, each and every last one of the women that support the sport of boxing. I salute you, ladies, and I welcome you. And it's because of you that the viewership continues to grow and the contributions that you make to this channel, whether it be through your time or through your monetary resources, I want to tell you is greatly appreciated from Manager Marty. So thank you to all the women watching me all around the world. I got women from the Philippines that watch, Ukraine. I see the demographics on YouTube right in my back office, so I know what's happening. And so that's why I want to give everybody their flowers when they view this channel. women in America, of course, people all across the world in general. So I salute and welcome each and every last one of you women. Thank you for your support. Now, the question was, should Jerron Boots Ennis fight the winner of Terrence Bud Crawford and Errol Spence Jr.? Now, let me tell y'all what I think from a business perspective, which is what this channel has been all about. From a business perspective, I believe that Terrence Bud Crawford and Errol Spence will back off from fighting Jerron Boots Ennis. And it's not because each of those two guys are scared of Boots. It's not because, those guys don't want the competition fighting Boots. But the main reason why I believe, from a business perspective, that Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence may not oblige Boots right now is because there's two reasons. Number one, their age. Their age and how they accomplished what they accomplished with that age in the welterweight division. And number two, which should be more important than anything else, is the money part. You cannot exclude that out of the element when we talk about the sport of boxing professionally, because they know that right now Boots is still building his name. He's still building his fan base. He's still generating an audience that can pay for his services through a pay-per-view platform, which is Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford has multiple pay-per-views that they've performed under, where Boots haven't, been headlining his own pay-per-view. So right off the bat, Crawford and or Spence will basically have to carry the promotion because they have the fan base that they've solidified through a pay-per-view audience. Remember, I always tell you all that there's two types of audiences. There's the regular network audience, and then there's the pay-per-view audience in boxing. So I'm talking about the pay-per-view audience, because if Boots fight either one of those guys, Crawford or Spence, of course the fight is going to be on pay-per-view. And so, that's the reason why I believe that both Crawford and or Spence will back off from fighting Boots, from a monetary standpoint, because the money may not be there. And I'm talking about the money that they're used to generating, especially the money that they're going to generate in their fight with each other. We always try to make sure in business that if we make a certain amount of money as a fighter or manager or promoter, the next time we want to make sure that, that value increases, not decrease. No business person is in the business, any business for that matter, to lose money. So I'm saying, while Boots is still building up his fan base, still being able to garner the opportunities to be a pay-per-view headliner based on the age and demographic that, Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence represent with their accomplishments, and then thinking about moving up to the 154-pound division, they may not, fight Boots. But that doesn't mean that Boots should stop calling him out. He should continue to call him out. He should continue to do exactly what he's been doing and what he showed last night from a business standpoint. Now, from a physical standpoint, actually competing in the ring, I wouldn't recommend those guys getting in that ring with a hungry lion who has all of the ingredients to really be competitive and possibly beat either one of those two. I'm just putting it out there. We're not talking about no Uber drivers here. When we look at these guys' resumes, Spence and Crawford. Okay, let's keep it all the way 100. Call a spade, and deal with what's real, like we do on this channel. Boots is on a different level. He is not the future of boxing. He's not. He's the right now of boxing. So physically speaking, I wouldn't recommend it. And I also don't even think that they would recommend it. They, meaning Crawford and Spence, when it comes down to the aspects of the business of boxing. Now, Boots had a name that the pay-per-view audience was accustomed to seeing, then I can see them saying, hey, this might be a really bigger fight than had Boots not had a name and not had that notoriety to a pay-per-view audience. But because the facts are the facts, we got to deal with where we are today. And so that's my evaluation, on that from a business standpoint. A. Taharko, thank you for your contribution and your support to the channel. Mr. Taharko says, this is easy money, no fluff. Thank you, Mr. Taharko. Appreciate it. And that's not the first time you have donated to this channel. So I always salute and appreciate you every time I see you in the chat. Appreciate it. If you missed the beginning aspect of this podcast today, I talked to all of you about a segment that I'm donating and designating to Errol Spence Jr. fans. Now, if you are a returning viewer, then you know that there is a segment that I have donated and designated for Terrence Buck Crawford fans known as Nip It in the Bud. Now, we're not going to inquire about any Terrence Buck Crawford fans tonight to come on to the panel live and live in color unscripted. Not tonight. In the next live, we will. However, in this particular live, and you may have seen two episodes already that I've published on my content here on the channel, through the segment called The Truth Hurts. Of course, it is a play off of words like Nip It in the Bud, Bud Crawford, like The Truth Hurts, Errol the Truth Spence. Yeah. So this is a segment that I'm designating and donating to Errol Spence Jr. fans to come and join the panel. I only need two of you for tonight, just two. Two Errol Spence fans. Come on to the platform. I have some questions that I want to ask you as a fan of Errol Spence Jr. I'm sure people in the chat may have some questions that they want to ask Errol Spence Jr. fans, and I'm going to provide the platform for them to do so. But we need to hear from you all who are Errol Spence Jr. fans. I'm accepting two tonight. Two Errol Spence fans. Come on, live and live in color, unscripted. I just flew the kite in the chat, meaning I put the link out there. I put the link out. Two Errol Spence Jr. fans, not at the same time, simultaneously. The link is in the chat. I'm going to try to see if I can pin it to the top because this is the segment for Errol Spence Jr. fans. We have segments for Terrence Buck Crawford fans. But we have a segment now called The Truth Hurts. If you're just joining us live and live in color on the replay of this live, also, we have The Truth Hurts. And so now we got to deal with what's real. Now, when you looked at the original thumbnail, it had pieces of fish that's filleted on the cutting board. And you all understand the analogy of the fish. And you also understand the analogy of that fish being filleted, because that's what Terrence Buck Crawford said that he was going to do to Errol Spence come July 29th. Do. All right. Hold on. Wait a minute. Manager Red Blood, are you there? Manager Red Blood?
Yeah.
Hello? Okay, might have been a troll. Manager Red Blood. Very funny. I don't know if that was a troll. But we have one King James. Are you there? One King James. Can you hear me? I
Sorry,
think your
hold on.
microphone was muted. One King James. Are you there?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you very well, sir. How are you this evening?
I'm doing fine, Manager Marty. How are you?
I'm doing great, sir. I have a question for you
Yes,
before we even get into this. Are you an Errol Spence Jr. fan?
yes, sir.
Okay. We have some questions that we have to ask you as an Errol Spence Jr. fan. And I'm sure you can provide us with some answers. You already know how the segment called Nip It in the Bud goes. So I think you understand the format here with The Truth Hurts, correct?
Yes, sir. That's the best
All
one.
right. I have a question for you, one King James.
Yes,
Will Errol Spence Jr. be ready in full force to fight Terrence Crawford since everybody keeps saying that he has a drinking problem and he's basically an alcoholic? Now, me personally, I don't bring anyone's personal business up on my channel. I don't bring anyone's personal livelihood up in any debates or anything of that nature. But you are an Errol Spence Jr. fan. I'm sure you've heard Crawford fans and just other people in general make references to, Errol Spence, having issues with alcohol in the past that obviously contributed to at least one of car accidents that he was in. So my question becomes, and the fans' questions all across the world becomes, will he actually be ready to fight Terrence Crawford at full force if he has a drinking problem?
I think I think he'll be more than ready. Uh, Everyone forget that's a grown man. Just because he drunk a few times and he celebrate. Every, you name me one person that don't work and haven't drink if they drink uh if they drink at all. So that does not make that man an alcoholic. He had an incident, he regretted, and he learned from it. So I think he's gonna be more than ready.
Okay. Now, when you say more than ready, do you think that he's still having those issues with alcohol now? Or when you say more than ready, what exactly do you mean by more than ready?
Well, I don't actually think that the problem was the alcohol wasn't the problem for what people think because like I say, everyone that drinks have a drink every once in a while. But when I say more than ready, I he stated that he do not party anymore. He to move away from the city into the more rural country area to put more into his sport and his craft. So that's why I mean more than ready because he determined to put everything to his craft until he retired.
Got you, got you. Understood, understood. Um, when we look at, did you see All Access last night? The All Access show?
Yes, I looked at most of it. I think I saw all of it.
What was your evaluation of Errol Spence's body language, his physical physique, him training in the gym? What was your evaluation of that version of Errol Spence as a fan?
I think that he's in better shape than he been in a long time because he right at his weight uh, that he should be at because I think he's supposed to be like I think like 10 or 15 pounds or 20 pounds over for you to work that down while you while you're going through training. So he right at the weight here that he's supposed to be. That's what I think.
So you think that he was right where he need to be fully ready for Terrence Crawford?
Yes, sir.
Now, I do have one more question, and I'll let you go because you know, there's this whole debacle going on about Errol Spence's weight. Now, of course, we can include contributing factors like drinking excessive alcohol. But since you said that's not going to be a factor in this fight, and he might not even party no more, because that's what Errol Spence said, we're hearing that he hasn't been in shape for a long time. That, of course, he balloons up in weight in between fights, like he's doing now in this fight. And people have been saying in the chat, Crawford fans, just people in general, are saying that he might be going through fat camp. In other words, is he's trying to lose weight in camp instead of working on techniques to beat Terrence Crawford. What's your take on his weight in fat camp and all of these allegations as an Errol Spence fan?
I think people, the Crawford fans, the real one that's go overboard, they wish that he was overweight. They praying that he'd be overweight, and they hoping that all those other things like the crash and all that stuff uh, take place in this incident. But they're gonna have a rude awakening because he was beating people when he was taking fat camp, and he wasn't taking the fight as serious as he's taking now. And now got a dietitian. He got his exercise strength coach, and he's taking it to a whole nother level. So they gonna be, if I'll put it like this: Terrence beat or Earl, he gonna beat the best Earl in a long time. So there's gonna be no excuses. But I can't see it. I cannot see it.
Got you. I appreciate you coming on the panel, One King James. Any last words for any Terrence Bud Crawford fan or
Yeah.
fans that you want to say before you go? 30 seconds.
Yes, my question is: name one fighter that Bud fought that is better than anyone that EJ fought in sparring. Just one fighter that better than anybody that EJ didn't, like the Charlos, or that he fought Mayweather. Name one fighter that he fought that's better than anybody that he sparred with, and then that killed everything else. They what they think about, he's just basic. That's it.
All right. And you know what? I'm glad you asked that question because on the next Nip It in the Bud segment, I'm going to make sure I do ask a Terrence Bud Crawford fan that question, and I believe that they will have an answer. Thank you again, One King James. I appreciate you coming on the panel, my brother.
Shalom, brother.
You got it. Now, that was One King James. We got my guy that's on here. Ricky Williams, you there, Rick?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me? Mic check, mic check.
Mic check 1 2 1 2. My main man, Pots and Pan. Ricky Williams is here live with us. Rick, I don't know if you ever seen any of my segments called Nip It in the Bud. Have you seen any of them?
Of course, my friend. I thumbs up them whenever I watch them.
Awesome. So you understand how the format goes. We're here live on The Truth Hurts with my guy, Ricky Williams. Rick, I mean, we're here now. I know that you said some things about Crawford that was distasteful to his fans, but they were always facts and true. Now, as a fan of Errol Spence, and I believe you believe that Errol Spence is going to beat Crawford, correct?
Yes, sir.
Can you walk us through some of the strengths that you think that Spence has that's going to basically, go into your prediction that he's going to beat Crawford?
I think we're gonna see. The biggest thing I think that Arrow is going to be able to do that we've all seen that bothers Crawford is a consistent, sharp jab, a varying jab that goes up and down, one that changes speeds, one that keeps the lead hand busy. Right. Uh, if you looked at any of Bud's fights, especially, and I've been watching all his fights in the last couple of weeks. If you watch any of his fights, especially once he hit the welterweight division, any fighter that has a decent jab, a good timing jab, always gives him problems. Um, Two, I think the biggest thing that people don't want to really give credit for, really recognize, is that the coaching. I honestly believe that Derek James and Errol Spence already have a game plan figured out for Bud. They've watched him live. They've watched him on tape, and this is the fight they've been shooting for since Errol Spence announced that he wanted to go undisputed. They knew they would have to go this route once Crawford beat Jeff Horn. So I think they have a full understanding of what they're dealing with in there. And I think my belief is I just think that Errol's the more consistent fighter. His activity is very high. I think he has a great chin. I think those are the things he needs to have to nullify Bud Crawford.
Got you. And speaking of chin, though, Rick, we've heard people all across the boxing community on YouTube, even Crawford fans and even other content creators that are Crawford fans say that the mouthpiece is going to be an issue for Spence because we saw what happened, when he fought Ugas, when his mouthpiece, came out and he took a big shot from Ugas. We did hear Spence say in an interview um, his reasoning for his mouthpiece coming out and why he deflected his attention off of Ugas to look down on the ground to pick up his mouthpiece. I mean, what's your take on this whole mouthpiece thing and how that can kind of play in the hands for Bud Crawford if Spence had mouthpiece issues again?
Yeah, I think it's a valid point if you don't believe that there's any other way that Bud can beat Errol. I mean, if that's what you're holding on to for him being able to do the Errol to win, good luck, right? If we look at the times they happen again, because people don't want to give certain fighters credit. Danny Garcia is a power puncher, correct? And Ugas,
That's correct.
right? And Ugas, while I wouldn't say he's known as a renowned power puncher, he kept Manny Pacquiao honest for 12 rounds, right? So in both of those cases, Errol didn't go down, and he kept fighting. And I like to explain to people that don't understand, like for you to get hit clean in the mouth with no mouthpiece and to shake it off, that proves you have a chin. These are professional fighters, right? These are professional fighters. So to say that that's the one thing y'all counting on, if that's what y'all looking for to have Bud win, good luck. Good luck.
Hey, Rick, my phone had timed out. Can you say that last part one more time?
Yeah, I was saying if they're looking to count on uh something that happened in other fights or his mouthpiece coming out and Bud catching Errol with one shot and knocking him out, if that's what they're looking for, then good luck.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I do believe Crawford fans are looking for Spence to get knocked out. In fact, I hear a lot of Crawford fans saying that Spence won't even make it past round 10, that Crawford's going to stop him in the later rounds. What's your take on that as an Errol Spence fan watching Spence dominate people in the later rounds?
Well, my take on it is I understand why they would have that mind state again, looking at the people he fought. But then at the same tone, in the same tone, I have to understand a lot of people don't know boxing. They don't understand matchmaking. They don't understand building a fighter versus developing fighters. And hey, you can believe what you want to believe, but I know for a fact those guys that Bud was in there with, um, he should have stopped. I don't call him a great fighter because he hasn't fought anyone great yet. I say he's a good little fighter, bro. He's a skilled fighter. There's no way he shouldn't be stopping the likes of David Avenesian or Mean Machine or uh, Amir Khan or Sean Porter. I mean, fighting's a lot, and I love that you talk about the business manager Marty, because you understand things that are really relevant in the sport. Things like matchmaking, money, and the most important thing that a lot of people don't want to give credit for in boxing. You know what that is, Manager Marty?
What's that, Rick?
Timing. Timing. Sometimes it's about when you get a fighter. Sometimes it's about when you get a fighter. What time in their career do you get a fighter? If you'd have got that fighter in some earlier years or when they were on a hot streak or in better shape, you might have lost that fight. The saying is any man can lose on any night. That's all about timing and when you get a fight. So again, it's weird how we can dissect and say these things about the other up and coming fighters that we like Shakur Stevenson, the Devin Haney, the Lomachinkos, the the Teofimo Lopez's, right? And we can look at these guys that are at certain promotional companies and say, hey, this guy's getting matched up well, right? He's getting a bunch of cherry picks. Everybody can say Canelo, right? Oh, look at the way Canelo's moving, right? Look at the cherry picks he get. But when it comes to, your favorite fighter and Bud Crawford, all those fighters, they were top-notch hopscotch at the best point of their career when Bud Crawford got them. Again, if this is what you guys hold on to, good luck.
Absolutely. Before you go, Ricky, I would like your last words. There's a guy in the chat, Boxing True. Um, Boxing True was saying some unfavorable things to me, which didn't bother me. It was all good. You're in the chat. I appreciate your viewership. But Boxing True, let me say this. And I know people always say I'm a Bud hater. I be hating on Crawford and all this. Let me say this, right? And this is to all the moderators. Hear me and hear me good. Please do not talk about Terrence Bud Crawford's mother and how she looked, brother. We don't disrespect people on this channel, and we definitely don't disrespect nobody's mother. This don't have nothing to do with what I said about Crawford as far as my critique on the business. But I'm still a fan of all fighters, and we don't disrespect nobody in the chat. We don't disrespect people on my channel. Moderators, do your job, because if I have to control and regulate a panel, still do my live, still add people to the stream, and still try to engage with the chat, and still have to time people out, I don't need no moderators. This is not a shot at the moderators. I'm just saying, when y'all see these type of things, this is the reason why I give you all the wrenches so we can run the podcast smoothly. So I'm asking any moderator that's listening to my voice to delete that comment that Boxing True made about Crawford's mother. We don't do that here. And not only delete that, y'all might as well ban him off the channel. I'm up here talking to Ricky, and I had to look and see that. Ban him off the channel. I don't care who got attitude about it. Ban him off the channel right now. To say that Terrence Bud Crawford's mother looked like a German Shepherd or a dog, we don't do that on here, man. We grown men. We don't do that here. We don't disrespect the ladies on this podcast, and we not going to disrespect nobody's mother. It don't matter if it was Crawford or not. Anybody's mother. I want him out of here. If a moderator can't do it, I don't need no moderators. I moderated myself. But I know I have good moderators on here. But when y'all see stuff like this is the second time that I had to stop a live segment to say this. When y'all see disfavorable, distasteful, disrespectful comments, I don't care what people say about me. But when you see those disrespectful comments, even about me, a panelist, somebody in the chat, or somebody like a fighter, y'all gotta do your job, man. Everybody got to get organized on this thing here. We don't do that on here. I'm very disappointed by what I just saw. Please delete the comment, because I don't want nobody else going back in the live chat when this is over, viewing the comment. I don't even want nobody seeing it. If you can't, then it's up there. But as far as Boxing True, he's not allowed on the channel no more now for that. I don't care what he was throwing shots at me about earlier. I don't care about that. That was cool, because it was a part of entertainment and all that. But you talk about that man's mom, we don't do that, man. So I don't even want to see his name in the chat no more. If he's banned, I shouldn't have to see the man's name in the chat, man. We got to be honorable. As men, we got to be honorable. We don't do that. Thank you, Mr. Pragmatic. You removed the comment. I appreciate it. Now somebody can remove him. It don't matter if people agree with Crawford or disagree with Crawford or say that Crawford's going to lose the fight. None of that matters. We talking boxing. But to say something to disrespect that man and his mother, we don't do that. We don't do that. We don't know what that man's mother going through. We don't know what he going through. Everybody love their mom. Everybody love their mom or their dad. We love our parents. regardless of which state that they're in, regardless of what they look like, regardless of their walk of life. We love our parents. Everybody love their parents, so we can't let nobody get away with just disrespecting somebody's mother. Come on, y'all, please. My fault, Ricky. I apologize for that, Rick.
No, it's all good. It was necessary, bro. We gotta be honorable men. I totally agree with that.
Um, your last words, Rick. I know you believe that Spence is going to. I don't know. How about I ask you the question? How do you think? How you think Spence going? I know we said Crawford fans are saying, yo, he going to knock Spence out in round 10, the later rounds. How you think Spence going to win this fight? Like, honestly, think that you think Spence can knock out Crawford or TKO him or break him down, to a point where we just see the writing on the wall? You really think that, Rick? What's your take on that, brother?
Yeah, I look at this one or two ways. Either Arrow's going to stop him or beat him to either the referee stops or the corner stop. I believe that Crawford. I believe Bud's a tough guy. I think Bud's one of those guys who's got no quit in him, right? Um, but I can't really say how he's going to get stopped because I've never seen him in there with with this quality of opponent. You know what I mean? So, but I know for a fact the one thing that I agree with is that Derek James and EJ says they're gonna have to break him. They're gonna have to beat the fight out of him, kind of like what Boots did last night against Villa. He was a dog. He wanted to keep going, right? But sometimes you got to beat the fight out of him. I think that's how it's going to go. I think Arrow's going to outlast them. I think Arrow's built, like they say, the war of attrition. I think Arrow's built for it. I think he understands what's at stake. I think he's been preparing for this fight since he's came to the welterweight division. No matter what, I think Arrow's going to walk away from the. I think he's going to walk away undisputed on the 29th. But this is what I got before I get out of here. To give you my final words and the question I got for everybody in boxing, not just Bud fans, Manager Marty, right? Everybody. We got legends, sportscasters, YouTubers, interviewers, all saying that Bud Crawford is a generational fighter, right? The best of the best, the creme de la creme. He's mean, he's nasty in there. He's the perfect blend of a fighter and boxer. He can get dirty, he can get technical, he can switch left, his footwork is amazing. Can somebody answer this question for me? If he's this great of a fighter, how is he in a 50-50 fight with a one-trick pony? That's the question I got for everybody in boxing. If Bud Crawford is the generational fighter, now when we're talking about generational fighters, we're talking about Floyd Mayweather's, right? We're talking about fighters that when you go to Vegas, there's no point of betting on them because you got to put so much money down and make money. It's a waste of your time. Bud Crawford is in a 50-50 fight per Vegas with a one-trick pony. This is what they say about Errol. He's too basic. He's flat-footed. He gets hit a lot. So either Vegas is wrong or y'all really wrong. And that's all I got, Manager Marty. Great platform as usual. You have a great night, brother.
Appreciate you, Rick. I appreciate your support. Thank you for coming on the panel and blessing us with your presence. Before Rick get off, I want to say this while he's on here. Please go support Ricky Williams' channel. Every time I try to type your name in, Rick, it be coming up with 50,000 Ricky Williams. So I
Yeah,
just
yeah.
look for the hashtag TWT.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That'll pull it right up.
When y'all go up to Ricky Williams' channel in the search engine, make sure y'all put hashtag TWT. That's the Ricky that's on the screen. One of the smartest guys I know as a content creator, knows his boxing, very, 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 very knowledgeable. And I got love and respect for Rick. Thank you for joining us again, Rick. And I look forward to seeing you, not just in the chat, but just again to come back on up anytime. You're more than welcome, Rick.
Awesome, man. You have a great night. Be blessed, brother.
You do the same. Be blessed. Salute, brother.
Peace.
I don't want to belabor the point, y'all. It's still bothering me a little bit. So I'm just going to say it. we don't disrespect people, moms, wives, children, girlfriends, fiancés, like as men. Like, you know, like I said, I don't know if the guy Boxing True is a troll or whatever the case might be. But to say that about Crawford's mother, we don't tolerate that, man. We come on, man. It's not about whether I agree with Crawford or not. If Crawford was sitting in my face, everything I said about Crawford on YouTube, about the business of boxing and about how he could maneuver himself into the biggest payday of his career and the biggest fight of his life against Spence, everything I said on YouTube, I'll say it to him. And if Bud Crawford was watching this live right now, or if he was sitting next to me now while I was doing this live, I would do the same thing to Boxing True, who disrespected this man's mother. We cannot tolerate that. Listen, we got to keep it all the way 100 as men. We got to be honorable. To say that about that man's mother, we talking boxing, y'all. We're not talking personal. We're not, talking about what we think about the person as an individual. We're talking about the sport of boxing and the business of boxing. That's what we do on this channel. Is this entertainment? Absolutely. Is this educational on this channel? Absolutely. But as men, I know if somebody would have said it about my mother, how I would feel. You know what I mean? But Terrence Crawford not here to defend that comment. And this is my platform, so I am defending Crawford in that comment. And I believe every man in the chat should as well. But I don't even want to see his name on it. Now, if he switch his name and try to get another channel, I don't have nothing to do with that. But I don't want to see his name in this chat no more. I let him slide when he was doing that to me, the shots. I was cool with it. He didn't disrespect me. But now you talk somebody mom and all that. Like, come on, man. We old heads. Most of us on this. I already see the demographic. I have a demographic, an age demographic that's consistently returning viewers on this channel. And to my understanding, all of us are old enough to be somebody's father. And some of us, well, not us, but some of us are old enough to be people's grandparents. So I'm just saying as men, like, come on, we ain't doing that, man. But that was the segment, and I hope I didn't interrupt this segment and mess it up for all of your listening pleasure and viewership. When I had Ricky on here just now, and I had One Kings on here as well, that was the episode of The Truth Hurts. And we're going to continue to have simultaneous episodes and segments on the podcast for Terrence Buck Crawford fans and Errol Spence Jr. fans. The Truth Hurts is designated for Errol Spence Jr. fans if you're just joining us live, if you're just joining the replay and don't know what's happening. And then you have a Nip It in the Bud segment for Terrence Bud Crawford fans. And so, Mr. Finesse, I promise the next time you will be able to get on. You will be able to get on. I was trying to pin the link to the chat, y'all. And I don't know why, it's not allowing me. Let me get these super chats real quick while I have the chance. Oh, my boy super chatted. Hold on, let me get that. Jamal Neezy, thank you for your contribution and your support to the channel. Jamal Neezy says, I'll admit your thumbnail had me fooled. Appreciate your support and contribution. And I think it had you fooled because it said the truth hurts, but then you saw a picture of the fish being filleted. Because that's what Terrence Bud Crawford said that he was going to do. He was going to fillet the fish on July 29th, referring to Errol Spence. And Jamal, you are a fan of Crawford, and you know exactly what that represented. So I appreciate your support. And the guy I was talking about was my guy that just contributed to the channel. And that's my man, another Crawford fan, but he's still my guy, Gregory Quarterbomb. Thank you for your contribution and your support to the channel. Gregory says, good evening, Manager Marty. What did I miss? Oh, you missed a lot, Greg. But if you tune into the replay of the live, Greg, you will be greatly pleased because we have a segment called The Truth Hurts, which I just said, where Errol Spence Jr. fans will come on a panel, unscripted, live and living color. They will speak their piece. And then probably in about a week and a half, I'll have Terrence Buck Crawford fans and Errol Spence fans together come on a panel. And we're all going to discuss some of the points that we talked about in the Nip It in the Bud segment and the Truth Hurts segment together as the fight is looming on July 29th, allegedly. You know I got to say allegedly because I got to stand on what I said to all of my returning viewers. And so I want to say thank you for each and every last one of y'all viewing the live. Thank you for supporting the live. Those of you that have provided contributions financially to the channel. Thank you for the chat. Thank you for engaging. And I want to say this before we get out of here. We've been on here an hour and a half. I want to make sure that I'm very mindful of the time, especially on a live Sunday night where I just threw the link out a few hours ago. I just want to say this to everyone that's just joining us live, the replay of this live. You may have missed it in the beginning of this podcast, but I was basically talking about how, the views that we have on this platform is because of you. And I want to say thank you to each and every last one of you that have been a part of the viewership in the last 7.5 months that I have been on YouTube as the hottest YouTube manager in the world, particularly in the boxing community. It's because of you that the content have produced 700,000 views. And we won't stop acknowledging it until we reach 1 million. And in fact, I actually put a picture up as well that we have over 200, I believe 250 uploads. And that's including the shorts, which I don't produce a lot of the shorts, but the shorts, the live content, and the published content on the channel, 250 uploads that obviously generated a total of over 700,000 views as of July the 9th today. So thank each and every last one of you for your viewership. Doesn't matter if you agree with me or not. Doesn't matter if you like me or not. Doesn't matter if you're a detractor or not. None of those things are important. What's important is that we continue our common denominator, and that is our love for the sport of boxing. So thank you all for helping me be a part of, the legacy here on YouTube boxing community as a content creator. And we're going to talk more business and sport of boxing next time. And I will let you know in advance when that next time will be on another episode that I look forward to all of you joining me live again on another episode of Roll the Tape Podcast with Manager Marty. I'm Manager Marty. I thank every last one of you. And I see you, Dion, in the chat. Thank you for your viewership. Look out for some published content all week long. Try to publish at least 2 to 3 pieces of content per day. But we're going to talk more about the sport and the business of boxing on another episode. Probably in a couple of days, we're going to come right back on here. And let me say this before you go and before I go, because you may have missed the beginning of this segment. And if you watch the replay of it, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about, where G-Man, who organized the debate between myself and Rick Glaser, we're trying to put the pieces together to organize it properly for each and every last one of you. I will be emailing Rick Glazer in a few seconds. As soon as I jump off of this live, I'm going to email him so that we can both determine when we are going to organize the debate. And I'll keep all of you posted through advertisement for probably the best debate or the hottest debate of the year. At least I'm going to try to make it that. As myself and Rick Glaser come together live and live in color on this channel, and I will keep you all posted. I'm Manager Marty. God bless you all, and enjoy the rest of your evening. Till next time.